All right, so let's get right into this. You chose card pile number 1, and the question is, who were you in your past lives? So let's get into it. You chose the amethyst, which I'm going to move out of the way. All right, so let's spread these out. So when I chose all these cards, I used many different decks, asked the questions, and created 3 piles. The first deck I did use, and that's why I'm going to start with this card over here, is the Starseed Oracle. All right, so this card alone is telling me a lot right away. The empathic Starseed, energetic sovereignty, absorbing what's not yours. So 2 key words here is empath and Starseed. So if you are familiar with the Starseed, you probably already know you are one, but just a little background. So I believe that Starseeds are here at this time to basically wake humanity up, because we're at this, or we may have already passed it, but kind of like a timeline of beating out the negative and dark energy so that we can pretty much ascend or evolve or go to the next level of humanity. It's time now, so I believe a lot of Starseeds are here now to wake people up. And the Starseed would be somebody who it's like a human who has been living on Earth at least one time, but sometimes Starseeds, this is their first time here, and that's why they have a hard time feeling like it doesn't feel like home is home, or even sometimes they feel like their family isn't their family. Something feels off, and that means a lot of times Starseeds come from other star systems. And because we are right now in the Lionsgate portal of 8/8, which was yesterday, I'm feeling strongly that this is telling you that you did come from a different star system, and that could include Sirius or Arcturian energy. And usually those beings are a lot further along in their progression, way beyond this earthly 3D realm, okay? And your soul has brought you here. So it's almost like we're going to start backwards here. So I feel like right now in this life, you probably are very empathic, meaning you pick up other people's energy very easily. You have to learn how to figure out what's your energy and what's other people's energy. You may have grew up as somebody who, like me, I in high school couldn't stay at a party because I would feel everybody's energy and didn't understand why, and got very upset and had to leave. And then later on you kind of realize, well, it wasn't even my energy, it was other people's energy. And you have to learn how to like cut the cords on other people's energy and build like a shield around yourself, okay? So your past life, your soul is saying basically that you're on this great adventure, and this is an opportunity for you because you are an empath right now in this life. You basically don't have to do anything, but just people come around your energy and you literally change them for the better, okay? It could be something you don't even realize you're doing, but your soul knows you're doing it. Or if you do service to others, I think a message here is to always remember what energy is yours, and what energy is somebody else's, and maybe take a break even right now and go inward. At this very moment, go inward, to kind of like recharge and make sure you know what energy is yours, because the energies are really swirling around right now. There's a lot going on. So if we were to work backwards now, I would say I'm going to go with this card here, the Storyteller, which is the Hermit, in a normal traditional tarot card deck. This is number 9. The Hermit is somebody who has gone internally and found his spiritual path. So I would say this is you in another life. You've worked really high up the level of secret knowledge, foretelling the future. You have this crystal ball in your hand, so you did a lot of healing work, but you went internally rather than outwardly to find this wisdom. And these are 2 Orioles on her head, and of course birds are messengers, so this is obviously a message that you need to know now about your past lives so that it all integrates together for you. So the Orioles represent the fact that you were a shapeshifter in a past life, and the fact that you are the storyteller, the fortune teller for others, definitely leads me to believe that this fits that you are a starseed. You progressed to that higher level, so that now you're here at this time, in this particular moment, to fulfill something that needs to be fulfilled, so that we as humanity, as a collective group, can make it to this next level. Okay, so this, I feel strongly, it could have been here on Earth, or it could have been in another realm of magic and higher level knowledge. Okay, so I see that as a past life. This pilgrim card is really standing out to me, the Page of Scrolls, which is in a traditional deck the Page of Wands, a very action-oriented card. The fact that this is a pilgrim shows me that you decided to take a pilgrimage, and from your soul decided to take a pilgrimage from a different dimension, a different realm, a different star system, and found this as a new adventure for yourself, coming here to Earth, because many souls want to come to Earth and experience what it truly feels like to be human, in a human body, in a physical dimension. Most of them do not experience this, and it is very difficult. So you decided, maybe you got to the certain level of the storyteller, whatever, but you decided to come here and become that starseed that was needed, and you came here as a pilgrimage from wherever far you came from. Okay, and also a page is also a messenger. Again, this is something you need to know about your past lives, and I believe your soul is reaching out to you, so you have a better understanding of why you're here now. Okay, then I would like to look at the wild woman. The wild woman, she has a tree growing on her head, kind of like the tree of life. She looks very shamanic, using earth or wherever she came from as her healing tools to help others, to heal, even heal the planet, heal humans. So this gives me a very Native American or even South American feel, like Peru. So you may have been here before. I would say at least one other life. So I would say that prior to this life, this was you. You maybe took a little break for 100 years or so and did something else. But then I would say, from this past life as a storyteller, you pilgrims, you took this adventure and became the messenger, so to speak, to humans at this time, using your shamanic medicine tools. Okay, that's really awesome. Okay, so you've got a lot going on from your past lives. You are highly advanced. You're an old soul, for sure. All right, so now we can look at, maybe I'm going to look at you got this card, why? Why did you reincarnate? Why did you come to Earth? Number 31. And I find it interesting, we also have the wings again. And that reminds me of the like you're like delving into the Akashic records, which is like the collective consciousness of all that has ever been, all that is, and all that ever will be. So why? Maybe because you are still connected to the fortune telling, the hermit, and you need this knowledge now as you've progressed and come to this physical realm to work with that as an empath, whether you realize it or not. You could have this happening in dreams. Okay, you're tapping in somehow, or you have tapped in. And that's why you're here again. So you're here to use that knowledge to help others. Okay, sorry, my cards aren't fitting that well. All right, so then might as well go to this one here now too, because this fits. Number 10, unfinished symphony. So the why is because you had an unfinished symphony. Your soul had more work to do, so it was unfinished in some way from these past lives. And you see the blue egg, there again is a bird. There's symbolism here with messages again. You have messages to give to humanity, whether they're conscious or unconscious. And she's sitting on top of that blue egg, reminds me of a robin's egg. And this is more than just unfinished business. This is a symphony. So you've orchestrated some beautiful woven fabric of past lives that have all come together now in this pivotal moment that you are here. And this even kind of matches in color, that card there. So that's the why, because you have unfinished business as a soul, and you're here to do something very important. Then we have the Four of Earth card, which is actually the Four of Pentacles in a normal traditional tarot deck. And the pentacles are very earthy, they're very material. So number 4 also, because you have 4 is like a foundation, the 4 corners of that foundation. So I want to say, even if you feel lost now in this life, maybe this is your first life here, and these are different realms. You pilgrimaged here. Some star seeds do feel very lost, and if you feel lost at this time, you don't understand why you're here, what the heck you're doing here, why you're picking up everybody else's energy. The Four of Earth is letting you know that even if you do feel lost in this lifetime and you don't feel like it's home, you have built the foundation here throughout your past lives and here on Earth. That's an amazing message. So you've though nothing is permanent though here, in this earthly realm, because everything is born and dies. Know that there's a divine plan for you, and that's why you're here, and you're here to shift other people's energy. That's this empathic star seed, whether you realize it or not. Just they come into your presence and they feel it. So this card is just indicating to you that you've built that foundation already. You've built that foundation with these beautiful people or beings that you were previously. Okay, so there's nothing to fear. There seems to be some fear here, and again, we're getting that in this Nine of Air, which is Nine of Swords, a very intellectual, intuitive, using your mind kind of card. If you notice, it's kind of a dark feeling. Again, the wings, the birds. This is messages that you need now. So this is a very important reading for you, because everything has led up to this very moment in all your past lives, and you're here now to fulfill something. And that may mean that you progress now as a soul to the next level. You may not have to reincarnate again ever on Earth. Maybe you're going to go somewhere else. Maybe you're going to be a guardian angel. Who knows? But it's something huge. All right, so number 9, Nine of Swords. Again, I'm getting that sense of fear again here. Understand that you can forgive yourself. There's something that you need to forgive yourself about. Because, again, being human is a unique experience, and maybe coming from other star planets, you weren't human, but understanding in this lifetime that it's okay, you're only human, yet it's so unique. But you can forgive yourself. And I think like it almost feels like sometimes you are living nightmares, or you're having a lot of nightmares at this time. That's where that energy is coming from. But do understand that you have a divine purpose as that star seed. Okay, so even if it doesn't feel right now, you don't feel that you're at home here on Earth, you are, because you've built the foundation in many lifetimes. You are meant to be here at this time. All right, so I hope this helps you with your past lives. Let me know in the comments what you think. How does this fit into your life now? How do these messages help you in your moment here on Earth? Because it's way bigger than you even think. Please give me a thumbs up. Please, I could use them. And subscribe, because I'm going to have more of these kind of free videos for you. So your support means so much to me. Thank you so much. Pile number 2. You've picked pile number 2, the Aqua Aura, which makes me think of dolphins on the ocean. So I feel like you may have had a connection there, maybe an Atlantean type feeling. So let's take a peek. So the question was, who were you in your past life? All right. So when I drew these cards, I used several different decks. I asked a question and then picked one from each one intuitively without knowing. But I did start with the Starseed Oracle. So I feel like just based on pile number 1's reading, we're going to start forward what you are doing now and then work our way backwards into your past lives. All right, let me just spread these out so we can see what we have here. We got some air cards here, which are the sword cards. Okay, so starting with this card here, it says trust the timing. There's that water again that I was just mentioning in the Aqua Aura crystal. Trust the waves you came in on. Time is not running out. So if I were to look at this card, I would definitely say this is a message from your soul telling you that at this moment, you need to trust the timing in this lifetime. You are here because you are meant to change the world. Right now, anybody who's here that comes in with many past lives, like we're getting basically already, I'm seeing on these cards, you are a star seed, and a star seed may have never been on Earth before, but they have chosen at this time to come here to help humanity make it to the next level of their progression, which is to release ourselves from control and negative energy that surround us, all kinds of lies that we're running into with our leaders at times. It's all an illusion, but you're here for that very reason. So I want you to trust the timing. The wave you came in on, trust that wave. There is a specific reason why your soul came to be here at this time. Okay, so let's hang on to that. And you can see the woman, she's walking through wondering, why the hell am I here? What am I doing here? Do I even fit in? I don't even like life right now. Or, you know, something to that level. You're not understanding a few things is what I'm getting. So delving in, we're going to look at the healer. This, I believe, is for sure one of your past lives. It looks like you were here on Earth before, but you did some very magical work as a healer, which is also the Page of Mirrors in this deck, which is the Chrysalis deck. So I see her working with bees and honey, flowers in her hair. She's got herbs under her feet, you know, grounding with Mother Gaia. And then, you know, one thing I'm already seeing here is something very weird. I'm seeing these doorways. So your past life consists of you being a healer, doing work with the earth's medicine at one time or another. So you understand how the earth works. So you've been here at least once prior to this life. So you have a big infinity with the earth and Mother Gaia and nature and how that all works together. Okay, so that we can see for sure was a past life. Then let's look at the other Chrysalis card. We have the Magician, number 1. That is like a super powerful card here. In this deck, it's called Ravens. You see the 2 ravens and the Tree of Life in the background, which kind of brings you into that earthly element again. But the ravens are playing with pearls, which is all about intuition. The Magician is considered the bridge between the spirit and our thinking mind. So you've done a lot of magic in a past life. It definitely has led you to this higher level, and that's why you're here now. So this also, when you see ravens, that's all about synchronicity. So if you start paying attention in your life, there's all kinds of synchronicities going on, and those are the messages from your soul telling you that all your past lives, all the abilities that you know are deep inside of you, and maybe you're using them in this lifetime, maybe you're not. There's a synchronicity going on there. Okay, the ravens generate that synchronicity in your life to help you become more mindful. So, and because they're birds, that's always a message again. It's like, and ravens are kind of known for being mischievous, and they're kind of up there like plotting mischievous in the Tree of Life a little bit, kind of having a little fun with you. But they do generate that synchronicity. They want you to take care to see and catch these magic moments that are happening right now. That could be numbers. Maybe you're seeing 1111 on the clock, like every time you look, or 222, or 3333, or 444, 55. Those kind of like repeating numbers are super important. If you're not familiar with them, you can look up numerology or angel numbers, and you will get all kinds of messages there. But their synchronicities letting you know, your soul is letting you know that you have been here before, and you've lived important past lives, and they're all leading up to what you're doing now. Okay, so don't let those synchronicities pass you by. Okay, and also this also means that you've entered some sort of new cycle since you've reincarnated, and the Magician is super high up there in the knowledge of other realms, knowledge of the Akashic records. You've worked with magic, alchemy, very cool past life. Both of these are super high up there. You've earned something very high, and that's why you're here now, whether you know it or not, as a human being. Okay, I find it interesting now you have this masculine energy with the King of Air, which is basically the King of Swords. Again, about intellect, about intuition, intellectual authority. You have some sort of intellectual authority from a past life, and he does have wings, if you've noticed too, almost angelic like is the feeling I'm getting. But somewhere in a past life you were very intellectual as well, in addition to being like this healer, magician, intuitive type person. But you're kind of seeing like, how do I see all the foundations of my past lives, and how do they affect the present and the future? So I almost feel like he fits in between here. He's asking you to look how all these different lives, now that you know they exist, how do they affect the present and the future? And it's showing that this masculine energy was one that would think before he would act. We're kind of opposite of the magician and the healer, which went with their gut instinct, with intuition. So that feels important here. And then as I'm looking through these other cards, this one for sure lines up with him, because she's feminine, but she's 3 of air, which is the 3 of swords, okay? And the 3 of swords is like one of those cards that's not so positive, okay? So it's kind of like betrayal, heartbreak, maybe some mental anguish that you went through in this life here. And this almost gives me that Atlantean feel again from our crystal, just being that blue. I don't know, I'm just really getting that there. So you were some sort of masculine authority figure, but the 3 of swords shows a heart pierced. Usually it shows in the tarot cards a heart pierced by 3 swords. So it's kind of like an emotional grief, a deep pain. In this life you went through a deep pain of mental anguish, of emotional loss. And it's like the clouds are looming in the sky here as a storm of grief takes over. So that shows me you've dealt with some severe pain. And again, now we have the soulmates card, number 41. So I'm feeling that this was a soulmate who either died or broke your heart, hurt you beyond words could say, okay? And maybe too, that's why in this life you're like, I don't even know why I'm here. You feel like maybe time's running out, you haven't fulfilled something. But maybe it's to take the opposite point of view of someone, a soulmate. Maybe you're running into that soulmate again, and it's going to be different this time in your life. But something happened with the soulmate where it broke you. It broke you, even though you were this masculine king, okay? So not everything's like perfect roses, even in past lives, but that has happened to you, so now that there's something different going on, that maybe you have opposite of that. Maybe you have a wonderful soulmate and you're getting to experience what that's like. Or maybe you have a hard time trusting people. That could be another scenario that your soul has come here to do. And then this one, chop wood, number 42. So this reminds me of me. And the reason I say that is, and there's that doorway again, by the way, that we're seeing here. Very, very odd. And there's the other one. So this reminds me of someone who sweeps or does physical labor when they're stressed. And that's what I do. When I'm really stressed, I start sweeping, because I think that it lets me mentally sweep away and clean up things that maybe I haven't yet figured out. That's like what I get from this card. It also reminds me of a broom that people used to use when they got married. They would jump over it for good luck. That type of thing. And I don't know, maybe that has to deal with that soulmate there. And because this isn't a tarot card, this is more of an oracle card, it kind of has to fit in with the rest. So maybe it could be this life you're using it to try to sweep away things. Maybe it had to do with that soulmate again, and maybe bringing more good luck in this lifetime. Because if you were to jump that broom like they used to do for good luck, that would indicate that hopefully you're having good luck right now. You'll have to let me know about that. Let me know how that card fits in for you. All right, then lastly we have the Sweat Lodge. And again, another arch, number 54, the Sweat Lodge. So this is a very interesting card. So I feel like this reminds me of a pregnant woman's belly. Okay, so this person's about to walk in. It's like they're going to spend time there in that womb. Like as if your soul, maybe because of this terrible soulmate, either betrayal or death, you lost them, that you literally, your soul had to go into a state of almost like a rebirth or transformation, a place to go for healing, because you figured this looks very dark. And I'm pretty sure that this place was somewhere where you had to go to find yourself again. And maybe you sweat out a lot of the toxins that were left in your soul from this betrayal or this strong grief. So like I would probably fit this card into probably here somewhere, feeling like you did that for a reason, because it was so difficult for you, and maybe you have problems now committing to people, or you're afraid people are going to leave you. Think about those things and how they affect your life. But again, the whole message is this leading up to who you are now. You have these amazing past lives. You did have some big time hurt, but you went through a transformation and you healed from that. So now I want you to trust the timing. Trust the wave you came in on. Timing has not run out for you. You have more time to do more in this life, and you are every single day, whether you realize it or not, you're helping planet Earth and the people on it take a positive direction. So if this, if you like this, give me that thumbs up, please. I could use some likes and subscribes because I'm going to do more of these free videos for you guys. And let me know in the comments, how did this work out for you? Does it make sense? Do you have some past fears, or do you have a bunch of synchronicities going on, and how does that relate to what you're doing now versus your past lives? So guys, thank you so much, and come back again. Hello, we are now on pile number 3. This is your reading for who you were in your past lives, and we've got this kind of earthy orangey stone, and I forgot the name of it. So if you want to know, just let me know and I can let you know in the description. All right, so the first, what I did was I chose several tarot cards and oracle decks. And the first one I started with was this deck, which is actually the Starseed Oracle by Rebecca Campbell. So I kind of take that card as being your life now, or possibly linked to the past. Let's see how that plays out for you. All right, I'm just going to lay these out. We're going to connect them all up in a minute here. All right, so if we were to start with the Star Keeper, it says, Cosmic Ancestor, see the light by staying grounded. And this is a beautiful, beautiful card here. I find it interesting right off the bat, just looking at these two yellow cards. Since we are in the season of Leo, and the sun rules Leo. And also yesterday was the Lion's Gate portal, which is a very strong energy. And it also deals with the sun and the yellow, the color yellow, which actually represents for us here on Earth our solar plexus, the third color ray of the chakras. And that deals with our self-empowerment, our self-confidence, our perseverance, self-control. And that can also go the opposite way, where some people become very underconfident or very weak, not using their willpower. But let's get in it. So the Star Keeper makes me think right away of you definitely have come from a different star system. And considering the Lion's Gate portal deals with the lion, which could deal with there's supposedly lion people from a different star system from Sirius. I've heard, I have a very strong affiliation, that's not the right word, affinity to the lion people. I get a very loving, strong kind of vibe. I've done some guided meditations by Steve Nobel where he's talked about them. But because it's the Lion Gate portal, I feel strongly that the Starkeeper card is saying that you have come from either Sirius or Arcturian star systems, which are both represented by the Lion's Gate, because I'm seeing so much yellow here. Okay, not only yellow, but the cards themselves. So if you've come back here, basically, at this time in this place here on Earth, you have come to change the world in a positive way. Now I'm going to grab the book on that Starseed card there, that first card, because I'm not all that familiar with it. So let me grab my book and let's see what we can find here. Star Keeper. So I'm going to read this to you. This is one where I'm not that familiar with that card, but I can tell you what I just told you about the energy I'm getting from it and where you're coming from. It says, you're an ancient keeper of the stars, here to anchor and seed your light in your unique way. You're likely been incarnated on Earth for some time, dedicated to an era of awakening and bringing about a long-awaited shift in the planet's evolution. And that's what's going on right now. The survival of Earth and all its species is coming to a head, and that's exactly why we are all here at this time, especially people who have reincarnated from many, many past lives, which we're going to be getting into. The more grounded you remain right now during this transitional period, the more helpful you'll be, and the more you tend to the flames of your own heart. And there's that color yellow with the flames again. The more love you'll anchor into this planet. The wisdom of the stars is imprinted in your soul. The more soul fragments you call home, the more this wisdom is seated here. You may be called to be in different places in the world to anchor this light, perhaps taking a trip or living in a certain location. You may also find yourself experiencing awakening symptoms. The more grounded you remain, the more stable Earth's energy will become, and the less reactive humanity will be. So this is super important for you. You're here for a double mission, to grow as an individual and as part of a larger collective that's bringing about a shift in frequency. And that frequency is of higher light vibration, and it will banish the negative dark energy sooner or later. That's why it feels like we're coming to a head with a lot of negative fears and crazy people running the countries that we're all living in. Just a lot of weird stuff. Even the media's lost their freaking mind. Trust that you can be in the world but not of it, and lead a truly glorious life. Okay, so that's what the book says. All right, so now I want to get into your other cards here. These two are really calling my name here, so to speak. So let's start with the sun. The sun in tarot is number 19. This one has a Mandela effect kind of around it, which gives me the idea of Sanskrit and Hindu, almost a Middle Eastern feel, like maybe you have lived a life in the Middle Eastern world at one time. But the sun represents, again, Leo, the solar period that we're in with the Lion's Gate. But also, you see there's a tear coming down that sun's eye in this particular tarot deck. All right. So this card, this one's crying, like he's crying for humanity. There's something we've lost here. I'm also I'm getting a message about Venusian, Venus, you know, the sun. It's a very hot place. Like you maybe have had a past life also in a dimension of Venus in some way, okay? But this sun is crying, and I'm also getting the message of the shiny ones, the sun representing the shiny ones. So when I think of the shiny ones, I get a very angelic kind of feel. I believe that the angels are called the shiny ones because their light vibration is so high. So I feel like one of your past lives was on an angelic level, so to speak. And you got to remember that angels, archangels and regular angels, or whatever, seraphim, all of them, they really sacrifice themselves almost to help humanity. It's almost like you would have to come from a soul level of advancement where you would always put others first, no matter what. Like you could call in an angel, and they will give you all the love you need if you ask for it. They will heal you. They will protect you. So it's always a selfless act. So you have a life where you maintain some sort of high level angelic presence at one time, okay? And this is probably why you're a star keeper now in this life, because you've maintained a lot. All right, so then I'm looking at the cornflower. In a tarot deck, this would be called Temperance. This is number 14. Again, that sunflower makes you think of Leo season. Summer is growth, freedom, love. And I'm also seeing these little pots again. Again, remember I was talking about Middle Eastern feel here. We had the Mandelas in the last one. Almost as if you've lived, the word Hindu and Sanskrit are coming through, you know, talking Ganesh, that kind of thing. Butterflies in this picture showing transformation. The fish, I'm not so sure about. I'll have to look that one up. I get temperance to me in this for a past life. You've led a life of temperance, meaning you've had to master your emotions, your feelings, and having patience. And this is almost like on a Buddha level. If you were to be that angel that I just discussed, you would have had to live lives where you've mastered such patience that you could put yourself last and help others. That's the kind of level I'm talking about. Again, the solar plex, that third ray lessons, which are about self-empowerment without the ego, self-confidence, perseverance and willpower. You would need that to get to that level of temperance, of having patience like a Buddha, where nothing would bother you. You would not be angry. You would only be loving. Okay, does that make sense? So, and this could take back, now let's go back to this lifetime. Just because you've mastered this in past lives, maybe you're being tested again. Maybe you have problems with that third chakra, the solar plexus, the color ray yellow. Not the color itself, but that represents it. Maybe you are having problems with self-confidence. Maybe you are having problems with ego. Maybe you are dealing with not having willpower or persevering even through tough times. I mean, sometimes these come through and the lessons are needed again. Just something to think about there. So you have the patience of a Buddha in a last life. And again, a Venetian from Venus kind of feel. Angelic is what I'm getting most, the shiny ones. That's really coming through really strong here. Again, here's the patience card, by the way, number 14. This is kind of showing a Renaissance era, so you may have lived a life in that Renaissance period where you had to learn patience in some way. And then that may have led up to the level of you becoming an angelic being, the shiny one at one point. That's how I see it. It could be wrong, but patience was a big lesson that had to be learned through all your lives, and you did master it. So congratulations on that. Hopefully you're still one of those kind of people that's always putting others first. You could be a doctor, a nurse, a healer, even teachers nowadays, God bless them. Police, God bless them for all they have to practice patience about. New life, number 39. It's like she's waking up out of her egg. So I'm just kind of putting this with this new life now. This is your latest life, a new life. It's a new beginning. It's a new you. You may not be the angel in this lifetime. You may not have the patience in this lifetime, but it's a new experience. And remember that this life, we still have to practice some of those humanly qualities that need to be learned, like patience, and maybe you have. But it's a new life. Don't forget how important this life is and how all these lives led up to this moment, and why you're here now is amazing. You are here to change the world. Then we have never-ending story, number 37. Never ending. So something is like a repeating cycle for you from these past lives, maybe into the present one. Maybe you're dealing, like I said, with those, I'm getting that again, that those solar plexus, that third light ray lessons. Those would be self-criticism, a wounded ego, unnecessary dramas, and of course opposite of that would be a healthy ego, where you do accept yourself for who you are. And you get through the dramas with perseverance and patience, okay? So just understanding that on earth, we are not perfect. We are not that angel being at this time. We have chosen to come here maybe to be hurt, maybe to have loss, maybe to be rejected, humiliated, maybe to deal with arrogance, but just suffering. We're born with suffering of unnecessary dramas, okay? So this is like an old story that maybe you can refrain from. You just don't go there, okay? Don't let the world crumble down in front of you, because none of those things you may think of yourself are true. And even what they're telling you on the news, okay? The sky is falling. You're gonna die from a virus. Get that vaccine. I mean, I'm just saying these are examples that come to my mind. It doesn't mean that they're true. Sometimes the world can be a very harsh place and they want to create fear in you, but it's for you now to discern the difference, okay? You are not your story. No matter what's happened to you in this lifetime, you still have all these beautiful parts of your soul that you can bring together in this lifetime, because you are the star keeper, okay? So just, I'm getting strongly, don't let fear, envy, procrastination, greed, any of those things make you feel like a victim, because you are using that yellow ray. You need to use that strong yellow ray that's in your soul, that you are beautiful, you are perfect, you are special. No matter what circumstances you have been in or what anyone has told you, you are the shiny one. You are the light. You are God's child. So there. All right, now we have the world card, and in tarot this is number 21, and it's weird because like I see a world here, and a world here, so it makes me feel like, you know, the world is earth. That's your earthly experience. So you've had, I would say, at least 3 lives here on earth, and at the same time I feel like this card is telling you, you know, in tarot, the world is your oyster. It's all yours to have. Whatever you want to experience in this life, your soul is here to experience it as a human being, flaws and all, okay? And learning from that. Your soul is learning from that and has learned from that in these past lives. And then lastly, we have the coyote, number 12, the coyote. This one kind of floors me here. I'm trying to figure out how that fits in, because really the coyote can represent the trickster. The trickster, and maybe that's your internal ego talking, tricking you into thinking certain things. But you have, in past lives, accomplished angelic level patience and protection to others and service to others. So also, maybe that for some of you could be someone always trying to trick you, and that could just be humanity. There's always been this kind of dark force out there trying to trick you into things that aren't true. For others, this may mean the coyote, maybe you have a deep connection with an animal soulmate. I see that, maybe a past life with this coyote, and you're still maybe you have a deep affinity for animals. Your animals are always like your best friends, your soulmates. So this being may have carried over and is still coming with you through all these lives. So this may represent a cat or dog that you have now, or maybe you're a vet. I mean, there's so many possibilities, but that's what I'm getting from that card. So if you have a different opinion about that card, please put it in the comments. I would love to hear your take on this entire reading. How does it fit? How does it not fit? What are you seeing in it? And if you want to give me that thumbs up, I'd really appreciate it. I could use some likes. I could use a subscribe and your support, because I'm going to be putting out more of these just free videos with a lot of good knowledge in them. So I hope this helps you answer questions from your past lives that your soul wants you to know now in this current life, that you are so special and you're here for a reason at this time. So make sure that you're here giving your love, giving your support, and helping to wake others up to that new level that we all need to ascend to. So thank you so much.